In this episode, I'm going to be taking a look at a couple more clone fragrances from Fragrance World that you can pick up for under £20 that replicate the £300 per bottle scent DNA of Baccarat Rouge 540 by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. These look very, very scarily close to the original in terms of their presentation, and you could easily be fooled into thinking these were the real deal if you just glanced at them on someone's dressing table. You may have also seen a recent video that I uploaded reviewing our Maths Club de Nuit Untold, which is a really accurate take on the Baccarat Rouge 540 scent DNA. But it's 3 times the price of these two, so I'll be letting you know how these stack up against that big dog that seems to be making a lot of noise in the fragrance community at the moment. So to find out how good these two are and whether they're worth picking up and trying out for yourself, stay tuned to this episode of Mags Frags. Yes, hello again and welcome to this latest episode of Mags Frags, where it's the fragrance that's the star of the show. My name's Paul, and these two cheeky little fellas go by the name of Barakkat Rouge 540, and they replicate the EDP and also the Extrait versions of Baccarat Rouge 540 from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. And I bought them for just £19 each from eBay, but you can also pick them up from Amazon and other retailers for roughly around about the same price, and both come in a 100ml bottle size. Okay, so into the presentation, and these come in these really nice looking boxes actually, and the EDP version gets a matte white box with gold accents, and the Extracts version gets the fully metallic gold colourway with red branding. On the front is the name of the fragrance and also the concentration, and at the top is the Fragrance World logo, and around the back is where you'll find all your product information and your barcode and also a QR code, but I can't for the life in me see a batch code printed anywhere either on the box or on the bottles. The bottles are about as close as you're likely going to get to looking just like the originals, and like I said in the intro, these would easily pass off as the OGs at first glance, and how this brand gets away with blatantly knocking off the big brands without suffering any legal action is kind of a mystery to me. The EDP comes in the familiar clear glass square-shaped bottle, and you've got a burgundy and gold inlay on the front. And you also get a gold cap with that, whilst the Extrait version gets the famous red translucent glass with a gold inlay featuring red text. Both caps on these are a slide-on style, and they do feel quite cheap and plasticky, and they feature a Fragrance World logo just at the top there. Then round at the back there's another Fragrance World bit of text there. It's got the name of the brand, and that's embossed into the bottom of the bottle. And then finally underneath you just got a little gold sticker that states the concentration of each bottle, and also to say that they're made in the United Arab Emirates. The spray quality on these are pretty good, it has a nice even distribution, and overall the presentation on these are really good, and you're not going to get anywhere closer than the original Baccarat Rouge with these. Okay, so into the note breakdown, and the original EDP version from 2015 has top notes of saffron and jasmine. In the heart we've got amberwood and ambergris, and the base notes are fir balsam and cedar. But in 2017 the Extrait was launched, which included the notes of bitter almond and musk, which replaced the amberwood and the fir balsam, which in my opinion made this one come off a touch more masculine smelling than the EDP version. Okay, so I'm presuming that if you've clicked on this video, you're probably familiar with exactly how Baccarat Rouge 540 smells, and you're here just to see if these are accurate copies of it. And the answer to that is yes, they are. They are very similar, and they capture all the main elements, so you will get a Baccarat Rouge 540 experience without doubt. And that iconic profile is impossible to fail to notice. But these do smell a bit more synthetic, and there is a a bit more of a harsh blast of alcohol in the opening, but after the first 5 or 10 minutes or so, you definitely get a strong resemblance to that 540 scent DNA, with that prominent saffron note up top, which is a major player in the original versions, and that sits on a base of ambery and woody notes, and that exotic Middle Eastern spice and leatheriness also comes through. But after testing these side by side with the original and also the Armaf clone, I'd say that they aren't quite as smooth and well blended and kind of all round well rounded as the real versions. And even though they smell similar, you can kind of tell a bit of a difference in quality, and the originals are a bit more velvety and refined with less of a chemical synthetic smell to them. I am still shocked at how accurate this Armaf clone is though, and how well it performs against the originals in my opinion. And it's almost a one-to-one clone, whereas I'd say these are about 90% there. If you haven't actually smelled the original, it's a very, very kind of polarising fragrance that does take a fair bit of time to get used to, especially if you're coming from mainstream designer scents. I've got to be honest, I wasn't keen on the Baccarat Rouge scent DNA for a long time myself, but I've just kind of kept persisting with it and going back to it, and I can now say that I really enjoy how it smells, and it's definitely one that does smell better in the air than it does up close, and it gets more people asking me what I'm wearing than any other fragrance that's in my collection. But I would say approach with caution if you're coming from kind of like the designer fragrances, because this ain't going to be for everybody. These are both pretty versatile on the whole, and both are better suited to the cooler months of the year during maybe autumn, winter, perhaps early spring, but they're too intense to wear in hotter conditions in my opinion. And I'd also say that if you work in a small office, they could get a little bit annoying for some people and could cause you a little bit of a problem with your colleagues at work. The Extrait for me is probably a touch more masculine, but I actually prefer how the EDP smells, and out of the two, it's the one I'd be most likely to recommend as a safer option. They are high-class fragrances that have an instant identity that you can recognise from a mile away. So if you wear these for a high-class event, you are going to be more authentic, and people will probably believe that you are rocking a £300 fragrance. But if you were to give yourself 15 sprays of these and walk around your local Aldi store, then people will probably know that you're wearing a fake. Yeah, the performance on these aren't the best unfortunately, and the Armaf version outperforms these in both longevity and projection. These do start out fairly strong for the first hour or so, but then they seem to just sit much closer to the skin. You will be able to catch the odd waft for a couple of hours, but compared to the Armaf where you're still getting really strong wafts 7 or 8 hours into the life of the scent, the performance on these tend to pale into insignificance, but at a third of the price you probably can afford to reapply these once or twice throughout the day. Yeah, I am still shocked with actually how accurate this Armaf clone is to the originals, and also how well it performs. I think it's even better than the originals when it comes to projection, and it's a bit of a relentless monster in terms of its performance. These two definitely produce a Baccarat Rouge kind of aroma, and in the air most people will definitely think you're wearing the real thing, but if you want the ultimate clone, you're still better off with the Armaf if you can come up with the extra 30 or 40 quid. Okay, so once again, that's about it for this latest episode. But for those of you who prefer original fragrances and who are giving me a bit of grief in the comments for reviewing far too many clones, then please don't despair, because my next 10 videos are all covering original designer and niche scents. And there's some absolute beauties amongst them. So you don't have to wait too much longer now for your genuine designer fragrance fix. And as always guys, if you've got any value from this video and you found it useful in any way, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to also subscribe to this channel. It's also great to hear your opinions, your thoughts and your critiques on all of the fragrances that feature in these reviews, so don't forget to keep your comments coming down in the comments section, and I will reply to as many as I can, but there is starting to get too many now to respond to everybody. So once again, thank you very much for tuning in to this latest episode. Stay safe, keep smelling fresh, and I'll see you very soon for another one. Bye bye for now.